Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Damionblackgear.
And Cole.
He got it this time.
Yeah.
Reviewing more of Battle for Zendikar. We are on to red, which all of you should know that I believe is the weakest color in all of Magic because it gets the shaft every goddamn time.
Tell that to fucking aggro burn at FNM, please, Ian.
You know
Because
what? Burn is the actual strongest deck in all of Magic, but nobody likes Burn, so they don't play it.
but Burn's like the only good red deck though. So there you
Yeah,
go.
it helps to be the only red deck. Even Goblins is a green deck.
Wah, wah.
All right. First up, Akum Firebird. God, I can't think of that reference. There was a lady that all I can think of is Hakum. Is her yelling that over and over again. It's not a fighting game though. All right, so we have a 4/4/3/3 with haste that comes back for landfall at the price of 6.
Eh,
It's fine.
it's good.
It actually is a little good.
I yeah. I mean,
You're probably going to get 2 hits in on this. So that's 6 damage. And by that time, like you have one more turn before it comes back. So you play your land on your 6th turn and just go, well, I guess I'm getting in again. Ha ha. I
how do you
like it.
swing? Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I take that back. It's okay. Fakum Ironbird. Ironbird. Wow. Can't read. Akum Firebird attacks each turn if able. That actually makes me a little sad.
That makes it worse. I mean, if it's an aggro deck, you're pretty much going to be taking anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Still makes me cry inside. Yakum Hellkite. 4/4 for 6. Landfall. Land enters the battlefield. It deals 1 damage, 2 damage for mountains. Another 4/4 flying dragon. This one's for 6. What do you think of this one?
With the landfall, if it's a mount, I mean, unless you've got mana ramp, which you generally don't want to have in a red deck, probably that's run dragons.
Well, green
Uh,
red.
I guess you could do green reds. If you're doing green red with this, like say you've got maybe 2 bonus mana, you're playing this on turn 4. You also need, if you want to do a mountain combo with it, you need to play it on turn 5.
That's still good.
It's still good.
A
It's still
4/4
pretty
on
good.
turn 5 that
With
shocks
flying.
something.
Yeah, it's good. A Coom Stonewaker, 2 mana, 2/1. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, put a 3/1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste onto the battlefield. Exile that token at the beginning of the next end step.
Oh, I wish it didn't have that exile thing. This guy could be a one-man army.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the exile, that card would be real good. It's,
It gives burn decks something to do with the extra land drops.
I mean, this actually is. It's not bad because you think you play this on turn 2. Next round, you play a mountain, tap the 3 land, run a 3/1 elemental into his face.
But that's going to be too slow for any aggro deck. Like, it's
It's
still a good card. I think it has a place in standard. I just... It gives you something to do with your later game mana when you go over the top.
Yeah. Barrage Tyrant, 5 mana, 1 red, 2 colorless. Sacrifice another colorless creature. Barrage Tyrant deals damage equal to the sacrifice creature's power to target creature or player. It's a 5/3 for 5.
So he flings thing at people.
Yeah.
I will throw your extra people at you. So, in... God, I don't remember what set that was. Brian's Stout Arm existed. Brian's Stout Arm was a 4/4 for 4. Red, white, 2. For a red or white, you could tap him and throw a creature you had at something via Brian Stout Arm. He had lifelink. He was phenomenal. This thing is not.
No, I don't like this card.
Belligerent Whiptail. Gives things first strike for landfall. 4/2. That's actually pretty decent.
Mm,
Easy to kill, but...
I don't like the stats on it.
Well, think about it this way. It's got first strike, so it's essentially a 4/4.
Yeah.
Well, it will usually have first strike. It isn't the greatest, but I think it's a lot better than just it being a 4/2.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Boiling Earth. One damage to each creature your opponents control. So not yours.
No. Um, this isn't bad.
I think it depends. Like you said earlier when we were looking at one of the other sets, this set doesn't have a lot of 1/1s, a lot of small
It's
creatures.
it's true, yeah. I'd love to play that against goblins.
Yeah,
If it was instant speed, I think that would be a lot better.
I agree. I think that all the Awaken cards should be instant. At least the ones that we've seen so far. None of them have been that amazing. Like, the instant speed Time Walk would catch a lot of people off guard. But if you're awakening that, or even, yeah, if you're awakening that, which is where you get the real value out of it, that's 9 mana. That card should win the game.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Chasm Guide. Chasm.
Chasm.
Yep. Yep.
It's your turn to mispronounce.
Exactly. I corrected myself immediately. It has rally and gives haste. So basically, all your allies have haste.
Uh, I mean, I can't like generally though. Goblin decks don't have a lot of mana, right? Like they're an aggro deck.
Mm-hmm.
So to make this work, you'd have to play a bunch of creatures with Chasm Guide.
Yep. To get any of the ally decks to work, you have to play a lot of creatures, and they're all going to have to be allies, or at least most of them allies, or enough allies for this to actually be a relevant ability. Otherwise, you're paying 4 for a 3/2, which is horrible.
Crumble to dust. Exile target non-basic lands, search your controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the name, the same name as that land, and exile them. Then that player shuffles his or her library.
This card gave the finger to the current answer to the Tron section. There is a red card, I forget what it's called. It is 2 and 2 mountains that does the exact same thing except for it is red. And it has 2 mana symbols in it. Still a sorcery, still exiles, still gets the rest of them out of the deck and hand. So this card is just a flat upgrade to that, and that card sees play in Modern.
There we go.
Dragon Master Outcast. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get, if you have 6 or more lands, put a 5/5 red dragon token creature with flying onto the battlefield. This is a reprint. It was this and no, not Scavenging Ooze. Crap. Drawing a blank. Another ooze thing that gave itself 5+1/+1 tokens for 5 mana. I think it was 5 lands. This wasn't good then. I still don't think it's going to be good now.
It's really amazing if you can get it to proc.
Oh yeah.
It's just the thing is, it never will though, right? Like ever.
No. Well, if it does, somebody screwed up. The thing about this is, I don't understand why it says your upkeep. It's a mythic. They're supposed to do absurd things. This should just say at the beginning of the, or a, or at the start of any turn. Like, make this actually useful.
Yeah, because the only way this thing lives is if you give it like hexproof and indestructible.
Yeah.
And then you've probably used like 2 or 3 cards just to, summon a 5/5, which is yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fire Mantle Mage. We have another ally with rally and gain control. Oh, creatures you control gain menace, which is again can't be blocked by 2 or more unless by 2 or more creatures. Oh man, they reprinted Goblin Warpaint. Sorry. I don't think this card's very good.
Yeah. If it was just like whenever a creature enters the battlefield, not an ally creature, this card I think would be pretty good.
I think a card would be amazing then.
It would be amazing. Yeah. But no, I don't like it.
and it's going to go in some random ally deck that's going to do very well because there are so many ally abilities that it's impossible for there not to be a good ally deck in here somewhere.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Goblin Warpaint's reprint. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has haste for 2 mana.
How'd you know this was a reprint?
Because you just said so about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, I did. I don't like this card. Didn't then. I don't now.
Play it on Ulamog.
Yeah, we're gonna wait till we. I still don't know what he does. Kozilek's Sentinel.
He's real funny.
Whenever you cast a colorless spell, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Are you as enthusiastic about that as I am?
Whenever you cast a colorless spell, I don't know.
Yep, sounds about right.
If it was whenever, like prowess is a hell of a lot better than that. Like,
yeah. And you look at the colorless ones that are out here right now, there aren't very many of them that are actually worth it. So,
no.
Lava Step Raider gets +2/+0 for 3, and it is a 1/2 for 1.
Nope.
Alright, moving forward, because I'm in the same mindset. McKindy Slide Runner. This is a beast, not a rhino. If it had a horn, it'd be a rhino. And if it had a tail, it'd be a monkey. Landfall gets +1/+1, and it's a 2/1 with trample for 2. You know, that's actually not the worst.
Yeah. If this had haste, this would be a very good card.
Oh, yeah. That's actually pretty good. My only fear becomes, what do you do when the 2/2 blocks it?
Cry?
Yeah, that's about right. I'd play it in a red deck.
I'd consider it. Molten Nursery. 3 mana. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, Molten Nursery deals 1 damage to target creature or player. This is an enchantment. This is bad.
I agree. Nettle Drone. Deals 1 damage to target opponent whenever you cast a colorless spell and tap it. So basically, this does what this does. These cards are the same thing.
Except one's a creature with 1 health that can get blown up.
Yeah, this one is easier to kill. This one just does the damage. Whatever. Thanks, Wizards.
I mean, if you get both of them up, actually, that'd be really funny.
Well, you only get the 1 proc from this one for casting from the nursery for casting the drone. Like, that's the only advantage. The drone is a guaranteed 1 per turn. Whereas the nursery can be like 4 or 5 for a turn, and then like nothing for the next 7 turns. Oh, we lost him. He'll be back. I'm gonna mute Skype. When he comes back, we will continue from there. I'm going to continue on to Champion. Let me move this over so that I actually see it. Onto Champion. Whenever Onto Champion or another ally enters the battlefield, he gives everything Trample. Trample is one of those abilities that's kind of special because it's hard to deal with and hard to really justify not having it. But at the same time, it's simple. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. But because this guy's a 4/4 for 3, he's a lot better than some of the other rally creatures. I still don't think it's worthwhile. We've seen enough stuff in the red that some of the other things are turning out to be better in idea than they would normally be. But for the most part, it is not something I'm all that interested in. Outnumber. Outnumber deals damage equal to the target creature equal to the number of creatures you control. Okay. That's fine. I wouldn't be too interested in that, but that's fine. Processor Assault. We have a colorless as an additional cost. something back into their graveyard from exile. And it deals 5 damage to target creature. So this is your new Roast. This will replace Roast at one point. I don't know when Roast is going away, but it will replace Roast. Just simply because it is an easier way to... Well, not even an easier way. Roast was probably the easiest of them. But it does the 5 damage that Roast did. Radiant Flames. I don't like this card. It is best 3 mana for 3 damage to a player. And that is... I'm looking at it from a lightning bolt standpoint. It is possible for it to actually be good. I'm not sure what the entirety of the standard state looks like right now as far as what's considered a good burn spell. So once we can figure that out, then we will have an idea. Until then, I'm going to say Radiant Flames is not that great. Reckless Cohort. Reckless Cohort attacks. I do not, unless you control another ally. It's still just a bear. That's not all something that I'm all that interested in. Retreat to Valakut. Here's our landfall. Let's see. +2/+2, target creature, or target creature can't block. Still not that great. None of these have been all that impressive. I'm hoping the green one does something. Because right now, all it's looking like is that the 3/3 or the 3 mana enchantment cycle is kind of pointless. Rolling Thunder. Oh, I believe this is a reprint, isn't it? Isn't that like a Portal 3 Kingdoms reprint? Tempest. What's this stupid Portal 3 Kingdoms one? Oh well. It's still a reprint. It's not bad. Like, this one is actually better than the other one, the white mana one. That was sorcery speed, and you could pay 5 to split 5 damage. I mean, granted, if you want to deal 5 damage, you have to pay 7. But this one will actually let you just cast it and use it. So, Serpentine Spike. Deals 2 damage to target creature. Another creature deals 3/2, and another one it does 4. If any of them die, this is an overcosted way to deal 9 damage. 7 mana for 9 damage to creatures only. Not something I'd be all that interested in. Shatterskull Recruit, which has Menace. It's a 4/4 for 5. This is a good finisher for your deck. The Menace ability looks to be like it's going to be taking over as the red version of Flying. So, be prepared for the death of the king. No, he's not sick. We're going to kill him. Stone Fury, 5 mana. Deals damage equal to the number of lands you control to target creature. You know, there's already one of these that does damage equal to the number of creatures you control. Did we really need another one for the number of lands we control in the same set? Just food for thought. Target creature gets +3/+0 first strike until end of turn. It's a combat trick. Touch of the Void. 3 damage to target creature or player. If a creature would die. Okay, so really? So we have a 3 damage common and an up to 3 damage rare. I don't quite understand. Why isn't this one the common and this one the rare? Am I nuts here, or am I reading this wrong? 3 damage to target creature or player. If damage dealt this way, it would die, exile it. Yeah, I don't... This is a flat-out better card, and it's a common. Somebody fucked up. Tunneling Geopede. Deals a damage on landfall. I said that this was going to do... This is the 3 mana landfall creature. I said that this was going to do 1 damage. No, I said the other thing was going to do 1 damage. The 5... Is there a 5? There's no 5. Wait. Is there really no 5 mana thing? I'm checking. There's no 5 mana thing. That's weird. 3 of them got it. Wonder if the green one got it. Oh well. I think that this, to each opponent. Yeah, no, this isn't worth it. Like, yeah, it's a 3/3. Like, even in the red decks, this isn't the greatest thing in the world. I don't know. I'm not all that interested in this one. Maybe one of the others will have something cool. Turn against. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Okay, so the new threaten is 5 mana. And is colorless, and that's it. Valakut Invoker, 8 mana, deals 3 damage to target creature or player. This is going to kill a lot of people in Limited. I say that confidently, and I will stand by that statement. Valakut Predator gets +2/+2 for landfall. Vestige of Emrakul. Devoid Trample. Hey, we got a Trampler in colorless. I'm not all that interested in it. Vile Aggregate. The number of creatures you control as Trample and Ingest. Again, not something I'm too interested in. 4 mana Stone Rain. Zada Hedron Grinder. Whenever you cast a sorcery that targets only Zada, copy that spell for each creature you control. That spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. Okay, so this is only good if you're using like a pump spell. Or a protection. It's like a buff, basically. I'm trying to think of another way to put it, but a buff is exactly what it is. And to be honest, that's not all that interesting. And none of the red really was. That's kind of sad. Like, there's enough allies to do stuff. Like 1, 2, 3, like 4. Like, there's a couple allies. 5, 6. There's 6 allies. There's not enough allies to do stuff in red. So you're going to need to go into other colors for it. And you're going to be really happy when we get to the land sections, when you see what's there, when you realize that you do have to go into other colors for allies. Because right now you couldn't curve with the ally deck. You couldn't do anything in just one color. There's just not enough. You have to go multiple colors, and you're going to have to take advantage of it. But that's where it sits for now. There was really nothing in red. I know he said white was the one that got shafted, but I really feel like there was nothing in red. Like, I'm looking back at this, and none of this stuff is really reaching out to me. Like, there's a reprint, basically. Yeah. I feel like red got shafted again. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. For now, this is Damionblackgear saying, if you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, don't like the video. If you want to know when the next one's coming out, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'm going to try and get Cole back before I record the next one. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.